Now it's time for Community Appeal.
Hoops Elite Academy is dedicated to building true student athletes by assisting young basketball players in the classroom just as much as on the court. Here to tell us more is founder and local high school hoop star Chris Coblyn and Joshua Gresham. So great to have you here, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
So how did the Hoops Elite Academy come to be?
Well, we both work at Smith Leadership Academy, which is a charter school in the Boston area. And part of our job is to make sure that we place our students to either other charter schools, independent schools, and what we have found is that a lot of our students have the grades but not necessarily the test scores. So it's important that we make sure that our students have access and options and don't allow the test scores to limit them. So we also have a huge population of students who love basketball. So it seemed like a natural mix of athletics, basketball in particular, and then the academic side.
I think that's so important,
Yeah.
and I think it's so great that you bring light to this because so many students do focus on their sport and maybe lose track of their academics or vice versa.
Absolutely.
So it's good to be well-rounded and promote the importance of education as well as
Absolutely.
Sticking with your passion.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so how did your first summer go?
It was a tremendous success. We had some of the top talented young basketball players in the region, not just Massachusetts, but New England as a whole, and they had a great time. It was a lot of work, but it was also a lot of fun, and I think that we had some tired student athletes go home, but they had a great time. So it was definitely a success.
It's good that they're tired.
Yes,
it's a good thing.
yes, yes.
And Joshua, why are academics so important to your mission?
I think in our mission we talk about building student athletes, and you are a student before you're an athlete. And in order to be a student athlete, you have to be eligible. So for a lot of our kids, it's important that they work in the classroom. Like Coach Coblyn said, they get the test scores, and that they're just able to use basketball as a vehicle to explore the world. For some of them, they might be able to go to colleges that they might not have been able to go. They might be able to maybe play overseas. You never know, explore the world. Through basketball, they might be able to play in AAU tournaments across the country. So just using basketball as a vehicle.
Yeah, and to have good role models too is so important to look up to. And I think if every sport had camps that also encouraged academics as well as the athletics, it would really make sure that kids know the importance of it.
Yeah.
So what ages is this camp best for, or that you encourage?
Rising 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th graders.
Okay.
So anybody who's going into the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, that's the ideal age. That's the age that we work with in schools. So it seems fit that that's the age that we work with coaching and developing the basketball players as well.
Right. So
Yeah.
just about that age of 9th grade when they've had this camp to prepare for high school, and then they have the right focus.
Right.
And they know what they have to keep in mind.
Yes.
I have to ask you about the steak eating contest. What is this all about?
Steak eating contest. Our director of basketball operations, is not here today, but he's my brother. He's my younger brother, but he's also 6'8", so he's a large man. And we had some also large kids at our camp, so it was another 6'8" kid, and they decided that at the last day of camp they were going to have themselves a steak eating contest. My brother Ben, he won. 4 plates to 3 plates, but it was definitely a lighthearted aspect of the camp. These student athletes are with each other for the full week nonstop, and so brotherly camaraderie takes place, and also they grow attached to our coaches. So it was just something that it's amongst the tall guys,
The tall guys, exactly. Well, then I have to say I'm not surprised that he won. He's 6'8" and a grown man, right?
Yes,
but still, I'm sure they had a lot of fun doing that.
Absolutely.
And why do you encourage young athletes to come? Do you only encourage experienced young athletes or anyone who's interested in basketball?
Really anyone who's interested in taking basketball seriously and has a goal in mind to use basketball as a vehicle to gain the best education possible. We did have an enormous amount of really talented young up-and-coming players, especially in the class of 2015. So it was a great mix. So we really had a ton of talented players, but we also had a mix of some younger guys who are developing into their own. So it was definitely a good mix.
It gives you a lot of hope too, as an adult, seeing these kids who have so much talent and focus.
Absolutely.
And what do you expect, Joshua, for years to come with this camp?
Just to grow. I think we started off on such a good foot. I know a lot of the kids who are going into the 8th grade talked about wanting to come back. get expanding in Massachusetts and New England. We had a couple kids from Rhode Island, so to have more kids from just around New England, just expansion.
It's great. Well, I think it's so important, you know, what you're instilling in these kids, really, and it's great that we have this academy. So thank you very much. And people can follow you on Twitter, and they can also find you on Facebook to stay up to date with Hoops Elite Academy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for more information on Hoops Elite Academy, log on to mymassappeal.com and click on Leisure Appeal.